Hello, everyone. Going to take you through the new charting and screener updates here. The first thing you'll notice is that these charts look a little bit different. We used a new charting software here, so it looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. And the main thing is you're not bound to the screener anymore. So you can just click anywhere on the chart and then just type in a new ticker, and that will uh, bring that up. So very easy, no longer bound to that. One of the features we added was the ability to measure pivots here. So if you wanted to measure this contraction, you just hold shift and then drag it down. So you see that's a 25% decline. And you can also measure upwards as well. So the new layout here has the ticker, the company name, the industry, the RS, the market cap, volume, ADR, ATR, all up here in the left-hand corner. And then you have your price, price change, relative volume, and then where price is relative to the 20 MA, 50 MA, and 200 MA. We also now have daily, weekly, and intraday 5-minute charts here. And then your settings where you can change to candles, change the colors, hide certain moving averages, save your preferences. And yeah, so that is the charting upgrades. Now we'll go into the screeners. So we have 3 panels here. We have one on the left, one on the right, and one on the bottom. So the left panel is your screener. Not much has changed here except the filters are now in a drop-down menu, and we added some new filters here. The bottom panel is the earnings. So most recent 4 quarters of EPS and revenue and a summary here. So that's a nice quick look. And then the right panel is your new fundamentals overview. So this goes through, I went through Mark Minervini's 2 books and William O'Neill's How to Make Money in Stocks. And I gathered all the fundamental information, that the criteria that they're looking for, and I put it in here. If it meets it, it's green, like positive EPS surprises in the last 4 quarters. This is 4 out of 4. So this one meets that criteria. If it's green, it meets it. If it's yellow, it doesn't. And if it's red, it usually means it'll give you some kind of William O'Neill sell signal here. So this is just your key signals, your overview. This little shield here with the 8 out of 8, that's actually the trend template. It's a little bit different from the stage 2 criteria screener here. So not all the stage 2 stocks here are going to meet the trend template because the stage 2 screener is just looking at the 50-day, the 150-day, and the 200-day, making sure those are aligned. And then the stage 2 wide removes the 150 from the equation, so you get a little bit more. But the trend template is very strict, so this meets all of it. The C33, that's the code 33 badge, earnings, sales, and margins increasing quarter over quarter for the last 3 quarters. And then your EPS score. So this, you will see a low EPS score with a high grade like B plus or A, because it's not meeting the annual earnings, but it meets so many other criteria. 5 out of 5 of leadership, supply and demand, current earnings. So it's not oh, the EPS score is bad, so let's stay away from it. But this is just your quick overview. I wouldn't grade your screening on this, right? So if you're just going through and you see, oh, well, this one's a D, I'm not going to add it to my list. Well, this one's a biotech, right? So biotechs are not going to always have the best fundamentals. Sometimes they have no fundamentals. So while you're screening, I would just, close that. That's just me personally. Even this, and just screen regularly. And then once you have your watch list, then open that up and kind of do a deeper dive. Um, and to do a deeper dive, you have this full fundamentals button at the bottom of each panel. And once you click that, that brings you to an overview. And here's your sell signal from William O'Neill. Deceleration, 2 consecutive quarters of earnings deceleration by 2/3 or more, 2 consecutive quarters of declining EPS year over year. So this is showing you the sell signals. Now you have all this information that was on the previous panel and the key signals. There will be some duplicates. Um, some of the key signals you'll find in the earnings profile, whether it's in current earnings, annual, catalyst. The key signals, that's just, the main stuff that you want to look at. But if you want to do a deep dive and, see, well, how bad did it miss the earnings? Well, it only has 1 out of 3 years with EPS growth. So you can do a deeper dive here. This is the trend template, each criteria, and if it meets it or not. And then the leadership profile is what Minervini looks at in his book. So this is his fundamental leadership profile, whether it meets it or it doesn't. This one clearly doesn't because it's a biotech. So let's go back and just pop in one that looks better. Got an A on FSLY. So you see here, it meets most of the criteria. And you say, okay, well, 2 out of 3 annual, what is it missing? It only missed 1 year of EPS growth. So not exactly red, just yellow. But you get the idea of how this is grading it. Now, once you move over to the earnings tab here, you're going to see a lot of graphs. And you're probably thinking, well, how do I know what these graphs, like, what is this telling me? I don't know. And that's why we have these little tool tips. It tells you exactly what you're looking at, 3 lines: EPS, revenue, and operating margins. And it tells you what you want the graph to look like, all 3 lines trending up together. If the banner says active, then code 33 is active. So it tells you exactly what this should look like. For example, debt to equity trend. You want the line trending down or staying flat and low. This one's not doing that. You want this to look, from top left to bottom right. That's what you want that one to look like. Then you have your earnings profile, just your 3 criteria there. Now your deep analysis goes into the financials. So we have the financials, the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow for the company. If you want to do your own formulas and extract some information, you can, but the deep analysis does it for you. It will detect patterns across those 3. So here, goodwill and intangibles are 46.4% of assets. That's an impairment risk. You might see something like receivables are outpacing revenue. This might be an issue, the company having trouble collecting payments. It's just going to look at these 3 sheets and offer some guidance here. You have your growth acceleration, just a deeper dive of your revenue and EPS quarter over quarter, year over year, and then some more charts, each with the tooltip there. Now, growth charts, these are your big 3, well, big 4. We added cash flow in there, but earnings, revenue, margin, EPS, cash flow, again, tells you exactly what it should look like. And then you have your segments. What products are we selling? Security, other, network services, and then the revenue by geography. So that is your fundamentals overview, the deep dive, and that is available on every stock. And now let's move on to the breadth dashboard here. So currently the breadth dashboard is showing distribution. You have your refresh button here if you want to update this throughout the day, but every time you click back and forth into it, it will update it. So you have your 6 index cards here, price, change, and then where it is relative to the 50-day and the 200-day. But more importantly, this is the most important, is the accumulation versus distribution days. This is what we want to key in on. And if you click each one, it will tell you exactly what dates and the percentage that the distribution and accumulation has triggered. Below that is your market breadth here, your VIX, your volatility index. Right now it's over 30, so it's going to show high fear. If it's persistently over 20 for X amount of days, I forget what the criteria is, it's going to show persistent volatility. So over 20 is kind of the first red flag. And then if it's persistently over 20, that's the second red flag. And then over 30 is pretty bad. Under that, we have advanced decline, up, down volume, new highs, new lows. That's all showing very red. And then you have your stocks. This is what I really key in on. This is really only the thing that you have to really take notice of. How many stocks are above their 50-day, above their 200-day, and how many are in stage 2? Right now, only 17.5% of all stocks are in stage 2. That's pretty low, slim pickings. We have an AAII retail sentiment. I don't myself look at that, but that's there for you. And then you have your sector rotation. When you see utilities and defensive stuff leading, that's not a good sign. So this is your breadth dashboard, and that was your charting, and that is all I have for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email, and we will get those answered right away. And I hope this is helpful.